Hey guys, what's up? I am doing a quick video tutorial on how I make fingerless gloves. They're very easy to make. They don't have a thumb gusset. I use like a buttonhole technique for my thumbs. I mean, you could do a thumb gusset with these right here. I practiced using a thumb gusset. I just didn't like the way they looked. Afterwards, I mean, they look fine when you put them on, I guess that's what's important, right? That they look fine when you put them on. So when you put them on, it's fine. I mean, it does its job, it does its function. I made these a little long so that the person using them could flip it back some, if they want to free up their finger some more. But it's pretty stretchy, and it'll stretch some more with wear. And this is these are made with Red Heart Super Saver, and I put 2 buttons on the back because the person likes a certain cartoon character. So yeah, and they fit fine. I just did not like, because I'm still not comfortable doing the decreases with the actual thumb gusset. So I gotta practice on that some more. So I'll probably be making a bunch of fingerless gloves this winter till I master that. So these are made using a buttonhole technique, where you bind off several stitches, and then you finish that row, and when you come back around, when you get to that point, you add those stitches back by doing E-wrap cast on, which is, let me see if I can find here. I'll use this leftover sock yarn. So you do like an E-wrap cast on, where you take your knitting and you take your yarn and you wrap it around your thumb and you slide it over the hook. So it's like an E, and you slide it over. This is like the basic, the simplest cast on ever. The thing I don't like about this cast on is the fact that it'll be very loose and gappy that first row. I prefer the long tail cast on, and after you do it for a while, sometimes you're gonna have too long of a tail. If you really need that yarn, if it's the only yarn that you have and you need every single gram of that yarn for your pattern, then long tail is not the cast on for you. There's other cast ons you can use, like the E-wrap cast on, the cable cast on. There's other cast ons you can use that are more frugal with your yarn. So with the long tail cast on, let me see now. Oh, that's fine. Okay. So with the long tail cast on, you hold your yarn in this V shape. You have your slip knot over your needle, and you twist your thumb. Place the needle under the loop you made with the twist. Take the needle over to your index finger. Rotate your hand around. Yarn over. Pull that through the loop on your thumb, and then let that loop go. And that's how you do long tail cast on. So I'm going to do it again for you. Go over, under the thumb, pick that up. Twist your finger around, yarn over from your index finger, pull it through the loop, and then let go. And I like this cast on because it's quick. It makes your first row for you, so you get a sturdier, more uniform cast on, and you don't have to worry about having this giant gap between your stitches as you would with the E-wrap, from not being very consistent. So that, like I said, you can pick up some speed with this one. So, and just like that, you got 20 stitches cast on. So that's the E-wrap cast on. Alright, I mean the long tail cast on. So which is the cast on that I prefer. If you want an even tighter cast on, then you can do the cable cast on. And I'm not going to show you guys that right now. You can look it up. There's plenty of videos on YouTube that would demonstrate that cast on. So this thing keeps focusing, so I'm going to give it something to focus on. This is my 2015 C calendar from a local business. So it's I'm not sure what's going on with my camera today. It's not being very user friendly. Could be the lighting too. Give it more light. But I apologize. This is just like a spur of the moment thing. I hadn't planned on doing this today. So, alright, so let's get started. The first thing you need to do, and you may have to tweak this, people with smaller hands, I love this yarn in the Fan Pride colorway for cowboys, of course. And it is a worsted weight yarn, but it's more towards a heavy sport versus a true worsted to me, because I'm a tight knitter and crocheter. So this is 5 ounces, and it says that it's a size that is recommended is a size 5mm US 8 knitting needle, and crochet hook is a I9 or 5.5mm. I'm using size 7s because I want a tighter stitch. Then we'll provide on a size 8 for me to gauge. What else was I going to say? But that's the yarn that I'm using. Now, I did a long tail cast on, and I have about 10 inches, almost 12 inches of tail left over. And I like weaving in my ends a lot to make sure nobody can't find them and sit there and unravel it and blah, 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 you know. So I cast on 40 stitches using long tail cast on method. Now when you get started, you need to make sure that you have your, this camera keeps pausing. You need to make sure you have your, something must be scanning. Let me see what's going on. Yeah, because it keeps pausing. Let's see what's going on. Alright, so if it's still doing it. I'm not sure why it's pausing like that. This is new. New to me, something. So, let's see. Yeah, so, I'm trying to figure out why it's doing that. I don't have any videos or anything running, and I'm shutting down all my browser windows that are open, that could be making this happen. So, okay, so cast on 40 stitches, okay? You have to excuse my fingernails, but I was out digging in the garden, so I keep my nails short. I don't grow long fingernails because I have a tendency to catch them on stuff. And if you can see this fingernail, I don't know if it'll focus on it or not, but you see that ridge? You can see the ridge on that fingernail. I actually ripped this fingernail all the way down one time. So I keep my nails short because I'm always in the dirt digging around, and I don't want to rip another nail, like accidentally getting it caught on something that's hidden under the soil. Like with this one, I found some old chicken wire that was way down deep, and I just reached in and snatched up something, and it snatched my fingernail instead. Alright, so I wish this thing would focus better for you guys. It's driving me nuts. Not sure why it's doing this today. Is that better? I don't know. Okay, so you got 40 stitches, right? So you're going to put 10 stitches on each needle. And you're going to knit in pattern. So I do a 1-inch border of knit 1, purl 1. So you're going to knit your first stitch. Like I said, I like this because it's tight. And you're going to purl until you have 10 stitches on your needle. And the hardest thing is doing the first row. It's the same thing with crochet. The first row seems to take forever. And I don't do these tutorials often, and you guys know that. So, those haters out there, if you have a problem with it, you want to see it done better, and you need to do it yourself. Or go find somebody else's videos, because there's a lot of videos on YouTube. I'm just showing someone who asked how I do mine. So I put too many on that one, so I'm gonna knit one. Alright, so that's 10. You should end with the purl. Okay? You should end with the purl, and you should start with a knit when you have an even number of stitches. So this next one will be a knit, purl until you have 10 stitches. And the reason I like the knit 1, purl 1 for my borders is it's tighter than knit 2, purl 2. It tends to snap back easier than knit 2, purl 2 after you wash the product. But that's just me. Someone else might prefer to have the looser knit 2, purl 2 or knit 4, purl 2. However you want to do your border, it's up to you. It's your project. You do your borders, your wrist cuff, however you want to do it. Now you have to make sure when you're doing this that you don't twist your stitches. You want your stitches to see how these are going in the same direction. You want it to make sure you don't twist your stitches putting these on your double points. I prefer double points. If you want to use circlers, then by all means use circlers. I prefer double point needles. That's just me. Because I'm like, I just like double points. I don't know. Maybe it's because it's a little bit more fiddly than circlers. I don't know. I'm sorry if I'm going off camera, but yeah, like I said, it's been a while. Alright, let me back this thing out, because I think you guys pretty much understand what I'm talking about. It's getting harder to stay on camera. Okay. Alright, so that was knit, purl, knit, and I'm getting ready to purl. Okay. I'm gonna stand up because I cannot. This is hurting my elbows leaning on that table. No, I went too far. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright. Another thing you can do instead of undoing that stitch is you can simply pull it off and then put your needle in there instead of unknitting. That's another thing you can do. Now it might bother the tension, but it's up to you if you prefer. I mean, it doesn't take long to back out one stitch. And I'm not the fastest knitter in the world either. I crochet a lot faster than I knit. Alright, so we have all of these stitches now up here. So what you want to do is you want to get everything turned, going in the right direction. Adjust your needles if you have to. Make sure you push them long so that you don't accidentally pull one off. Make sure your tail is out of the way, because now you're getting ready to join your project. There are two ways that I join. Because I didn't put an extra stitch on this one, I'll be just continuing in the round to join this one. Sometimes if I want a tighter join here, what I do is I'll have an extra stitch to start with. Like instead of casting on 40, I'll cast on 41. I'll put 11 stitches on my first needle, and then what I do is I slip off that 11th stitch on this needle, and I do a slip one, pull the slip stitch over, and that's how I join for knitting around. You don't have to do that. I like doing it because it gives me a tight join at the corner of my DPNs. The other way you can do it is you simply go ahead as if to knit, go in as if to knit, grab your yarn, and then pull it in close. And then make sure that you, before you pull this off the needle on your left side and left needle, make sure you tighten that up. Then drop it off and then tighten it up some more. And you're just going to continue knitting in pattern for an inch. Knit one, purl one. Okay? You're just going to keep doing that. I'm naturally left-handed, so I don't knit. I knit continental, but I do my purls a little weird compared to some people. That's just the easiest way that I found to do my purls for me. Knitting in any kind of fiber or any kind of art, any kind of craft, people have to develop their way of doing things to make it easy for them, to make it pain-free for them. And this is how I've developed doing my purls for me. I tried doing it other ways, but I just simply could not build up any type of speed doing it the other way, because I had to constantly think each time that I did a purl stitch how to do it. What was I doing? Did I do it right? You know, and I just don't need that complication in my life. This is supposed to be an enjoyable pastime. And once it isn't enjoyable, then it's no longer worth doing, because you don't need those aggravation hormones running through your brain or your body. So, and I hold my yarn the same way whether I'm knitting or crocheting, because I learned to crochet first. So I'm going to show you guys what I do with this tail to tighten up that bottom stitch from where we join. So I'm going to go ahead and show you that now, and then I'm going to do another, because I'm not going to be able to do this whole thing in real time. This video would be freaking huge. So after you do an inch for your border, you're going to then knit 17 to 18 rows. I eyeball stuff. I don't sit there clicking a row counter. If it's something that that you absolutely have to be in total control over, and you do it with a row counter, feel fine to do that. I counted the stitches on this glove here, and from here to here is 17 stitches. Even if you put in another row for 18 stitches, it's not going to affect this that much to cause you a bunch of problems when putting in this thumb gusset thumb. So I got an inch for my knit one purl, one border, and then I did 17 rows. And then when I get ready to start that 18th row, that is when I cast off 6 stitches. If you have somebody with some giant fingers like me, 6 stitches might not be enough. You might have to cast off 7 or 8 stitches to get this large enough for your thumb. This part here is after I picked up, I recreated those stitches, and when I come back after I finish this, I come back here, I picked up 20 stitches, and that includes picking up some stitches on the sides, just like you would do if you're making socks, so that it closes the gaps. So I picked up 20 stitches, and I knit one row. On the second row I did my decrease. I decreased down to 16 stitches. So I did a slip knit, and then on the 10th stitch, well, you do a slip knit, finish knitting the 5 stitches on your first needle, knit to the 3rd stitch on your 2nd needle, and then knit 2 together. Then on the 3rd needle you're going to do a slip knit, finish that needle, and then on the 4th needle you're going to knit to the last 2 stitches and then do a knit 2 together. And it's just like you were doing decreases on an afterthought heel, or socks for that matter. And then you continue and you knit in the round the rest of the way until this gets, I do it right over my first knuckle. I have real big hands. I have a paper where I trace the hands of the person who wanted these mittens, fingerless gloves, and this is the tracing, and this is like big, it's like wide for her because it's bigger than her actual hand. So I do this so that I know if this fits inside. Number one, if it fits on my hand, it's gotta fit hers. So I do this so that it fits inside the glove, inside, and I get a general idea where her thumb is at. And I just drew this all the way up. Her fingers aren't that long. And because it's a glove, it's going to be about here on her wrist. The thumb goes here, and then you continue up to about there. Okay? So, it's just a guideline. It doesn't have to be exactly like that. You guys know that I do not believe in perfection. I am not a perfectionist. I could care less if something is perfect or not. The point is to be able to, does it do what it was designed to do? In which case it was designed to be a fingerless glove and cover your hand. Okay, so this should be a purl. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that should be a purl. And that's why a lot of people forget when they're making things, small things for people. They want it to be absolute perfect. You're not a machine, okay? You are not a machine. It is handmade, handcrafted. And if it looks handmade, handcrafted, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. If they want something that's perfect looking, tell them to go to the damn store and stop bothering you. You got other things to do than try to be perfect. You got a life to lead, family to take care of, things of that nature. You're doing this for enjoyment, not for somebody else's ideals of perfection. So yeah. And I have no problem telling people, no, I'm not gonna make that for you. Cause you are not gonna pay me what it's worth to make that. So I have no trouble saying no, and I have no trouble not letting people belittle my skills and abilities, or try to use me to get something expensive for nothing. So no, handmade is most of the time is better than some of the store-bought stuff anyway, because it's being mass produced. So 2, you don't know what kind of yarn or fiber is being put in that product, what it's being treated with. You don't know a lot of things. A lot of things you don't know about yarn, but still, I'm more sure of this yarn than I would be of something that I bought that was made in a foreign country and whatnot. It's the wind blowing. It's real windy here today because of the the high pressure to our north. Joaquin, whatever the hell that storm name is, to our out in the ocean, to our right, well, east. And so we got that wind thing going on today, and the tide is going to be ridiculous for people because it's an onshore flow. Still, we've had few little rain squalls here and there, and this is self-striping yarn, so it's doing its thing. It's changed over to gray. I tried to get it at the same place so that they will match as much as possible. So yeah, and I'm sorry about this, but I keep going off camera, and I'm sorry. I apologize. It's been a while. It's easy when you're drawing because I can just plunk my book down and draw. I don't have to worry about my hands going too far away because it has to stay on the page on the while I'm drawing. In your corners, you have to make sure you pull tight when you're using DPN so you don't get ladders. Alright, I'm going to let you guys go. Keep working on this. Once it's an inch, then you just start doing your knitting in the round for 17 to 18 rows, depending on the hand that you're doing that for. And I'll come back once we get to the thumb gusset area, okay? Alright. Alright guys, I have knit my inch for my cuff, and now I'm going to start knitting it around. And it's just like what it says. You're just gonna knit, do the knit stitch. You're just gonna knit, constantly knit. Let me stand up again. Around all stitches. And you're gonna do this for 17 to 18 rows, depending on the size of the person's hands. If you're making these for a child, then of course you do not want to be trying to do 17 rows of this. You're gonna have to kind of figure it out. It's subjective to the size of the hands of the person that you're trying to help. You can also have them try them on, so you can kind of see how much farther you need to go before you do your thumb gusset. So you're just going to keep going, and I'm hoping I screw up one of these ends so I can show you how to fix that. Sometimes you don't complete the stitch. You'll be going, you won't be thinking, you won't be watching what you're doing, and you won't complete the stitch. And I wanted to show you how to fix that if that happens. So you're just going to keep knitting all the way around, 17 to 18 rows. If you want, you have a piece of paper, and you can make your little tick marks so you can keep on track for, you know, make sure you're not going too far over. You don't have to tink back. So yeah, so you just do that for 17 to 20 rows. And I will be back when it's time to bind off 6 stitches for the thumb gusset. Okay? Just keep going around and around and around and around. Alright guys, I'm back. I have my 17 rows, And so this is the 18th row, and on this row I'm going to start my show you guys how I do my second thumb. The first thumb I always do at the first DPN, the first 6 stitches of the first DPN. Okay, the second thumb I will be doing at the 3rd DPN. See, this is the beginning row, this is my first DPN, the second one, and so at the beginning of this DPN I will be doing my thumb for the other hand. That's just how I do it. So okay, alright, so let me stand up. So you're going to knit over to your 3rd DPN. So bear with me, peoples. Yeah, not going very fast for me, huh? Alright, so we're at our 3rd DPN. So we're going to bind off these first 6 stitches. So you're just going to knit the first one. You're going to knit the second one. You're going to take your needle, pick up that first knit stitch, and drop it over and off the needle. So you're going to do that for 6 stitches. Try not to split your stitch. This yarn is soft, so sometimes with knitting I've noticed that it splits. And you don't want these to be really super tight, so that's why I slide it over to the end and pull through like that, because you want these to be loose enough that you don't have any trouble picking those up. I gotta figure out my light. My light is not a heavy light. So you see these, you want to make sure these are loose so that it's easy for you to pick these up when you actually knit the thumb. Okay, so I got 4 stitches left, so that means I've done 6 stitches. Okay, and then you just continue knitting until you finish the glove. Well, you continue knitting. I'm gonna do this other row so I can show you how to do the E-wraps. Alright, so bear with me. So you just finish knitting this row. Okay. You can also do what's called an afterthought thumb, where you put a piece of waste yarn in and pick out the waste yarn and then pick up the stitches that way. But I find this way to be easier with just doing the thumb. The thumb. It's not a gusseted thumb, it's just a thumb, because I'm not doing a gusset. Alright, so now we're back at the part where I took and cast off those stitches. So I'm going to take my needle and place it close to the second needle. And we're going to do our E-wrap. You're going to roll your thumb over that way, slide a stitch onto the needle, and then you're going to pull. And I mean, you want to pull tight. You see how close those are? You don't want any loose between this stitch that's on your needle. You don't want to have that much of a gap, or you're going to end up with a ladder. So we're going to do this again for 6 stitches, because that's the amount of stitches you cast off. This is the amount of stitches you put back on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I got my 6 needles. Alright, and then you're just going to reach over to the next stitch on your 3rd needle, pick that stitch up and knit it, and then slide down, tightening that yarn as you go, and they're connected, and there's no big gap between these stitches. See? Alright, and then you're just going to knit, keep knitting until your glove measures the length you want, which for me was a blue repeat, a gray repeat, a blue repeat, and then half of a gray repeat. And then the other half of that gray repeat I used to pick up my thumb gusset stitches here, and then I finished off with blue. Okay, so now my color is changing back to blue. Alright, so I'll see you guys when it's time to pick up the thumb. If I had a second pair of these are 7s, yeah. What are these, size 4s? I might have a second pair. It's hard to see the US 4. So if I have a second pair of 4s, I can actually show you this now. Let me go ahead and make this. Okay, row. And so what that does is that puts this thumb, I mean, technically I could wear this glove on either hand, technically, left hand, right hand, which is what I love about picking up the stitches like that. But the person who wants these gloves, I'm going to be putting a crochet star on the back of it. Okay, so that's why I need to make sure that she has a definite, well, she's going to have to wear them that way anyway, because it's going to have the star on the back. So this is going to be the left one, so the star will be on the back, and then this one will be the right one, so my hand will go in this way, and then the star will be on the back on this side. So she would definitely have a left and a right mitten, a fingerless glove. Alright, let me see if I have, I'm not sure where I put my needles at. If I have another one, I can go ahead and pick up those stitches and show you. But no, because I'm not into the gray. So we'll come back to it. I'll finish this glove and then we'll come back to it. Alright? Alright, I'll be back, guys. Alright, guys, as you can see, this is a very fast pattern, easy pattern. So now I am getting ready to bind off the top of this glove. And so I like binding off using a crochet hook. It's faster than just using the needles. Okay, and I've counted and I want it to stay kind of stretchy, and I've counted my stitches around, and I still have 40 stitches, so I didn't do any decreases. I just did a straight bind off using the crochet hook. Okay, if you want to be even stretchier, you can use like half double crochets and you'll get a stretchier bind off, and I'll show you what I'm talking about. So you go in as if to knit, and that's your first stitch. Okay, go in as if to knit again. Alright, and then you yarn over and pull through both loops, and that's a half double crochet bind off. Okay, you can do a single crochet bind off by going in and then just straight up pulling it through the loop on the needle. Alright, so you can alternate. You're still going to end up with 40 decreases, and you can alternate just so you end up with a looser bind off. So probably every 4 or 5 stitches when I'm binding off, I will do the half double crochet bind off, just to keep some flexibility in the bind off, because you don't want your gloves to be so tight that people can't move their fingers inside the glove. So that's how I do my bind off. And using a crochet hook. My crochet hook of choice, for those who might care, is actually Susan Bates. I bought these because I wanted to try them, and they crochet very well. They're very smooth, just like the Eddie knitting needles. But I just did not like the handles. The handles, the way they break, I did not like that at all. So it would have been nice if it had been a full-size needle. So even if the handle did break, you still will have a fully formed crochet hook beneath the plastic bits. So. And I wish this was more focused. Not sure what's going on with my camera today. It keeps pausing, and autofocus is not the best today. It might be, like I said, it could be the lighting in here. And cut off the autofocus. Alright, this is the last one. And I'm just going to do a single bind off on all of these because there's enough play in this this glove, that I don't need to add any additional stretch to it. Alright, and this is the last one. Okay. So now at the last one, I go into the bind off here, and I go make sure I go up under. I just wish this thing would freaking focus. This is driving me crazy. Ugh. So as you can see, the yarn moving, okay, and this is my last stitch. I skipped this purl gutter right here, okay. I skip this, and I go into the top over here to join my yarn. Flip it over, see, and that makes it nice and even across the top. Then have about a 6 to 8 inch tail. Cut that, and then just pull your yarn through, and it's done. Okay. Now we're going to pick up the stitches around our opening here. I wonder if it's just dirty. Okay. Alright, so what I do is, because you're going to knit this way so that your stitches aren't, you're going to knit in this direction, from right to left. So you're going to pick up stitches starting over here. Like I said, you're going to put 5 stitches on each needle. You're picking up 20 stitches. And you know you have 6 going across here. So you got to get stuff in the corners too. So right now I'm going to go across these 6 stitches right here. So I put my needle through the first stitch. I'm using my gray yarn. And I'm going to actually use my crochet hook for this first one, just to pull it through easier. So just get your hook and pull it through, okay? And then you got it with your needle. You can tighten it down. Make sure you got enough tail to weave in. You want plenty of tail to weave in, okay? You're going to hold that, and then you're going to go up on your second one. Yarn over and pull that through. So that's 2. You're going to go up under your third one, yarn over, and pull that through. That's 3. Oh, stupid thing, focus on my hands.